So I sat down at the bench at Christmas and I was tying a bunch of flies, kind of in between dinners and hanging out with the family, ice fishing and all that, and just wanted a real quick shoot, kind of the top 5 flies I used from last year. If you've watched the channel at all, no surprise on this first one. Chubby and pink. This is a fly that I've probably got on anywhere between, 50% of the time. I wouldn't be shocked if I've got a chubby on top of a hopper dropper rig, or, fishing 2 nymphs pretty deep. I just enjoy seeing fish hit the chubby, even if it means I don't have the versatility of an adjustable nymph rig some days. If I have to go really deep, we'll make the switch, but most days I've got this tied on. This is a good one for me. Some people might say it's, don't have the wings on it. Maybe it's not really a chubble. Maybe it's closer to like a Chernobyl ant, but for me, not tying the wings on makes them tie faster, and I honestly think sometimes the wings just get wet and cause this thing to stop floating. 2 layers of foam. This is one I've got on all the time. Easily probably the top fly I've got in my box. So first one, chubby Chernobyl, pink. All right, second fly, Pat's rubber legs. This thing has been great for me ever since we kind of started fishing it more. Some people think they're a pain to tie. I tie them pretty simply just to make it easier and not have to deal with trying to make it look, prize winning. Definitely not winning any awards, but all it is for me is just take this, you could buy the yarn or whatever, but I just went over to Hobby Lobby and bought one like this, black and gray mottled. It's just like a simple yarn and gonna last, forever, right? I mean, I'll probably never run out of this stuff, no matter how many Pats I end up tying. But simple Pats, some people, fret about the legs or worry about the legs, say the legs are a pain. I tie them right on top. I take 2 pairs, so I got, 8 legs, tie them on top. They can talk about how stones have more legs than that, or how the ones come off the front, or whatever. Plenty of fish will eat the 8-legged Pat's rubber legs, and the ones that are counting legs, then there's no chance. I mean, if a fish is down there counting legs on my flies, that fish is too smart for me. Actually, in the Black Canyon, I was fishing to a fish, and I watched that fish pass on like 3 or 4 real salmon flies, like floating salmon flies down the river, check raised 3 or 4 real salmon flies. So if that fish is check raising real salmon flies, what's to say that this imitation is going to work? I actually ended up hooking that fish on a Pat's and not the fish on top. I lost him, but still, I mean, if fish are going to bypass and check raise real things, then I'm not going to worry about it that much. I'm just going to go find the next fish. But that's me. So second fly, Pat's rubber legs. All right, third fly is the pheasant tail. I actually have this one tied up with a gray dubbing instead of a peacock curl. I think it makes them easier to tie, and you don't have to worry about it breaking apart as much. I think they're more durable. This is an itty bitty one. This is like a size 16, this is a 16 probably, but I just didn't have that many left in the box when I went to shoot this video. Fish it a bunch in all sorts of different patterns and colors and different flashing. I mean, you could probably eliminate a whole bunch of your flies and just tie, pheasant tails from size 8 to size 22, and you could cover all sorts of slots and catch fish and just have one fly pattern. And just, change flashback or change dubbing colors or, size, and I think you could probably get away with that on, most rivers across the U.S., just switching in between pheasant tails. So pheasant tail, number 3, I mean, there's a reason. Thing's been around forever. All right, number 4 for me, Iron Lotus. This is, I think, a pattern that Lance Egan has kind of done his little number on. I don't know if he started it or if he just made, put his spin on it, but we'll stop it. Let's see if there we go. Just focus on it. But this is a little one. This is like a size 16. This is probably the size I fish the most of it. Tied a couple in 14. I don't fish them much bigger than that, but pretty simple fly. I mean, thread body, tail, some dubbing, little bug back, not much more to it than that. I've had a ton of success with this fly. It's definitely become a go-to confidence fly for me. I have this thing tied on all sorts of times during the year in lots of different places, different setups, hopper dropper, deep nymph rigs, underneath a caddis, any of that. This is a fly I've got tied on a bunch. easily become one of my favorites the last couple of years. All right, fifth one, Rainbow Warrior. I mean, it's hard to dial it down to 5. There's probably 10 to 15 I rotate through. They're, my top confidence flies, but this is one that's always great. I don't carry these in anything bigger than a size 18, really. I like to fish them pretty small, fish them at the end of the rig typically, and just let them imitate different stuff. I'll pretty much tie this on before I go to like a zebra midge or different things like that. These are great general attractor. Do really well in a lot of different waters, and have seen a lot of success with them across the states that I've fished. But that's the fifth one for me. Went with Rainbow Warrior, but gonna just kind of put this up. Wanted to shoot it, give some fly fishing content before, it's really ice fishing season for me. Once we get to this point, I really love getting out on the ice more so than picking ice out of my guides on the river. If we get some nice days, maybe like a warm mid-40s day, I might go chase some stuff on some tailwaters or some areas that are less crowded. Winter fishing can be really fun, but for me, ice fishing is just a different experience. And, if I usually average somewhere between 50 and 100 days on the river these last 3 or 4 years, it's nice to kind of break up and hit some different stuff, get to fish some lakes, fish for some different species, get to fish for lake trout and perch and just stuff that I don't typically target with the fly rod. Although I think next year I might go do some lake trout missions and try to get them when they move into the shallows and try to catch some Lakers on the fly. Just target them. I think that'd be fun. There's a shot there and always a chance of catching a monster, which would be cool. Honestly, I'm still trying to catch a good one through the ice, so that's part of it too. But for me, ice fishing season started. I'll probably put some ice fishing videos up throughout this winter, and maybe we'll shoot some more stuff as I tie and get on the vise and do some different things. I tied also for Christmas some more squirmies. I was out of squirmies, and then just kind of starting to refill the box here. I think I tied some princes was the other thing I tied over Christmas. Tied up some prince nymphs. I need to go through and clean this up. Got some old stuff in. You can kind of see I'm low on pheasant tails over here. I've only got a couple. There's maybe only 2 hare's ears in there. So that's another one that was probably pretty close to top 5. And then you got, lots of little midges and things like that, which end up getting tied on. I mean, zebra midges has got to be up there in the top 10 for sure. I mean, that thing in different colors gets you through lots of places, and different sizes can imitate chironomids and lots of different things. But didn't make the top 5 for me because I don't tie it on right away, because I'd rather fish something bigger. If a fish will eat something bigger, it's just, less of a pain to tie on size 20 and 18 zebra midges. But thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.